I was the top lawyer globally, renowned for my skills. But I decided to give it all up to be a full-time husband to Emily. She's famous for spoiling her husband. People envy our love. After cleaning the house and feeling bored, I started a no-camera chat livestream. When folks heard I was a top lawyer, the stream numbers surged past 100,000 viewers. People started tipping me, asking me to handle their petty disputes and family dramas. One generous viewer gave 100,000 just to get me to take on her case against her nasty husband. She described all the abuses, moving everyone to tears. I couldn't help but feel for her, so I took the case. "What do you want?" I asked. "I want him to leave with nothing. Is that simple enough?" Hearing her voice stunned me. It was Emily's voice. I realized this horrible husband must be me. After the stream, Emily came home looking pleased. She saw the spotless floor and hugged me from behind, playfully nibbling my ear. "My husband's amazing," she said, "just like usual. If it weren't for the balance in the account, I'd have thought the stream was a dream." An odd feeling arose, so I pushed her away. Emily puckered up, asking, "Did I do something wrong? I'll change. Okay?" She showed me the luxury cufflinks she bought. My heart grew colder. As a lucky draw prize from my stream, cheap stuff I bought online for $10 each. I started realizing she'd been gifting me flea market goods and passing them off as luxury items. In the past, as a top lawyer, I always wore real high-end stuff, treated myself right. I began to question if giving up my career was the right choice. Over 6 years, she gave big red envelope money every holiday, always marking them as non-voluntary. She joked about it, not realizing her lawyer husband's expertise. With that note, the transaction can be reclaimed after divorce. Seeing me silent, Emily tried to put the cufflinks on me. I frowned, ready to refuse. But her phone buzzed. Seeing the alert, she let go and glanced at me nervously. Then she quickly opened a dual app switch to another contact information account. Days ago, I accidentally saw her chatting on Contact. The messages were inappropriate. "Hey bro, meeting on the 20th, yeah?" I'd never seen this chat. Emily nervously explained it was someone else's account she borrowed. What was she seeing earlier? Her phone rang just then. Apologetically, she kissed my forehead. "Babe, a work issue just popped up. I gotta handle it. Don't wait for me tonight. Okay?" She left in a hurry, but I clearly saw it was just an alarm going off on her phone. Ridiculous, taking a call from an alarm. Days passed without seeing Emily. Yet her "I'm okay" texts came constantly, until an ex-colleague messaged me. Having seen Emily, they said, "Vincent, I'm at a bar gathering. It looked like your wife was getting cozy with others." Unsure, they sent me the location. I stiffened and hailed a cab immediately. Outside a private room, I saw Emily draped over a guy named Felix. Lights flashing, drinks flowing, faces flushed. A buddy remarked, "When are you divorcing your home husband to be with Felix?" Emily's tipsy response was, "I've planned to divorce forever. He's dead on the bed, unlike my Felix." She laughed and acknowledged Felix. Her friend, confused, asked, "Emily, everyone thinks you adore your husband. Is divorce real?" Proudly, Emily said, "That whole image was just to prevent him from taking my assets." Everyone actually believed the doting wife act. She revealed things gifted were Felix's leftovers. Holiday money was withdrawn carefully, including the house not in my name. Friends admired her foresight. Oddly enough, hearing all this, I wasn't sad. I pressed stop on the recorder and left. At home, I started compiling documents for a divorce case. Funny, being a lawyer absent from court 6 years, my return is dealing with my own divorce. While organizing, Emily messaged on the platform, "Top lawyer, is our case ready? I can't wait to get rid of him." I replied with GIF saying everything's ready, then sent her a file, totally void of advantageous details for her. Trusting me blindly, Emily submitted it to court. "Lawyer, it's filed." She cheered, sending a generous tip with a note voluntarily gifted. I pocketed it. It was probably more than all 6 years of her gifts combined. Emily was flattering, saying just one sentence, "Gold medal lawyer, I trust you. My happy future depends on you." Maybe she was really confident. After a month, Emily finally returned home. This time was different. She didn't even bother pretending. She brazenly brought a man along. When she saw my indifferent reaction, she frowned. "Aren't you going to say something?" she asked. I asked her back. Should I say something? Listening to me, Emily was taken aback. But I didn't really care much. She immediately started pushing boundaries. Felix acted like he'd been there a million times. He headed straight to my main bedroom and whined to Emily, "I can't sleep anywhere else but here." Perhaps our relationship hadn't completely fallen apart. So Emily tried explaining. "He's my secretary. The bed's softer here. Young folks like him can't sleep on hard beds. Can you let him have it?" I didn't refuse. Figured maybe it'd be their last time staying here, so why not just let it go? Later that night, Emily explained again. "Felix is terrified of thunder, and the weather forecast says there'll be a storm. I gotta stay with him tonight." I shrugged, indicating I didn't care. Emily looked at me suspiciously. "You aren't jealous, babe. That's not like you." Then she seemed to recall something and sighed, retreating strategically. Before heading into the main bedroom, she brushed my head gently. "Some things, Han, you can't force. If it's not meant to be, it'll end." Before the door closed, I overheard Emily talking to Felix. "I've already given him a heads up. If he's smart, he should get the hint. Hopefully, when it's time for the divorce, he won't still be hung up on me." Hearing all this, I just let out a cold laugh. There wasn't a thunderstorm that night, but I still suffered. The soundproofing wasn't great. My guest room was right next to the main bedroom. The thumping and moaning kept me up all night. Next morning, I woke up with dark circles and ran into Felix's pitying gaze. When you meddle in someone else's affairs, this is what happens. Hope you learn your lesson. Nobody's indispensable. When it's just you, try to move on. Emily was unusually attentive that morning, cooking a huge breakfast spread. It was the first time in 6 years I saw her in the kitchen. Unlike mine, she laid out a pair of serving chopsticks. Noticing my gaze, she seemed a bit embarrassed. Felix is a germaphobe. But not long after, she used her own chopsticks to feed Felix a piece of pork roll. Felix was delighted. "Emily, didn't know you remembered I love shrimp rice noodles. Everything here is my favorite." Emily beamed, but I had no appetite. Everything Felix liked on the table I hated. After breakfast, Emily hesitated before handing me a package. "These are the divorce papers. I signed on your behalf. This is me taking the initiative. Our story ends here. Don't beg." She said this a lot, like she was afraid I'd cling to her. But I simply replied, "Oh." Her words stopped abruptly, followed by a deep sigh. "Don't pretend to be strong. You can tell me if you need anything." Next to her, Felix chimed in, "Vincent, want me to help you find a good lawyer? Might not compare to the gold medal lawyer Emily hired, but might help with the loss." "No need. I'm winning this case." I tossed my chopsticks and walked away. Emily didn't keep up any pretense. She chuckled, "That lawyer's the best in the business, worldwide. No matter who you hire, you can't win. Why so stubborn?" In the following days, Emily and I shared the same roof, but barely spoke. When the divorce hearing finally arrived, I got up early and put on my dusty lawyer suit. Seeing me, Emily sneered, "Looks the part, but only comforts yourself." Felix attended the hearing too. Before it started, Emily saw I was alone and remarked, so overconfident, "Not even hiring a lawyer." Raising an eyebrow, I asked, "Where's your lawyer?" Emily, with her head held high, replied, "On their way." But after more than 10 minutes, even with the judge urging, Emily's lawyer hadn't shown. She started to panic, sent tons of messages to that so-called gold medal lawyer, but got nothing back. 1 minute before we began, she couldn't help but call the lawyer. But the next moment, my phone rang. Realizing the situation, Emily looked at me, terrified. I happily showed her my phone. "I'm the defendant. Also this case's only lawyer." Emily stood up abruptly, trembling, face pale, finger pointing shakily at me. "Vincent, you tricked me." I raised an eyebrow and said, "I didn't trick you. Didn't you ask me to show up in court? Here I am, right as promised." As soon as Emily heard those words, She charged at me looking furious and out of control. But just then, the judge slammed the gavel hard. Order. The divorce proceedings are officially in session. That stern sound brought Emily back to her senses, and Felix, standing nearby, also shot me a venomous look. It was only then that Emily realized what was happening. She quickly dug through the lawsuit materials and read them over, her eyes turning bloodshot as she came close to breaking down. Everything in there favored me. Unable to hold back, she shouted at me again. "Vincent, you're such a terrible person." But I just feigned a pained expression and said, "Your Honor, this is how the plaintiff usually treats me. Her abuse has left me mentally unstable." I was actually glad Emily was helping me build my case with more evidence. Felix quickly calmed Emily down, saying, "Emily, don't let this guy get to you. He's doing it on purpose. Stay calm and don't let him lead you around." Felix managed to bring Emily back to her senses just in time. She finally settled down, though her trembling body and restless hands betrayed her. The judge called for order once again and said, "Now, parties should state their claims and reasons. The plaintiff will present evidence first." Emily, without any lawyer and clueless about the proceedings, looked pale and stumbled over her words. "He cheated on me and doesn't love me at all. All he does is eat and sleep, doesn't clean the house, and doesn't want to have kids with me." Hearing her disjointed statements almost made me laugh. For 6 years, I did all the chores like a workhorse, and all she did was criticize the food I cooked and complain about me in bed. The judge frowned at her incoherent argument but zeroed in on an important point. "Do you have evidence of the plaintiff's infidelity?" Talking about evidence seemed to set Emily off. She quickly pulled out her phone and revealed a string of money transfers, adamantly claiming, "I gave him so much money for holidays and monthly expenses, you'd think he'd save up at least a couple of $100,000. But there's nothing in his account." A court officer handed Emily's evidence with extensive transaction records to the judge. The annotations on them indicated they weren't voluntary gifts. Seeing the judge's thoughtful expression, Emily suddenly felt reassured and confidently declared, "The money's gone. If he didn't use it to support someone else, then where is it? I want all the money I transferred back and nothing from our shared assets for him." The judge nodded seriously, indicating comprehension, then turned to me for my evidence. Unlike Emily's frantic state, I presented my evidence methodically with a composed smile. "My request is to dismiss all of the plaintiff's claims, demand compensation for 6 years of material and emotional damages, and employ a no-fault principle for division of assets, awarding me the majority." Before I could finish, Emily exploded, "What are you talking about? That's my hard-earned money, and you want my assets? All you did was mooch off me." The judge finally lost patience and looked straight at Emily. "If you disrupt the court again, you will be charged with contempt." Emily immediately fell silent, and I calmly countered, "Your Honor, here are my 6 years' worth of receipts. They show all the money she sent was used for household items or valuable gifts for her during holidays. Indeed, over the years, the money was spent on groceries, fancy seafood, and high-end gifts for her during holidays." I pointed out the clothes, tie, and shoes Emily was wearing, even her socks, things I had bought, all expensive. Emily was surprisingly quiet now, her face shifting from pale to flushed. The reality was, all her money was spent on her, and it was absurd she thought I pocketed it for myself. Back when I was a top lawyer, I was uncompromising and precise. After marrying her, I'd become frugal, even disputing a vendor over minor change in the marketplace. Thankfully, my meticulous nature helped me keep records of everything, from cheap ice cream to luxury ties for Emily. The judge adjusted his glasses, light glinting off the lenses. "The evidence is valid. Any other basis for your claim?" Emily stared at me, feigning indifference and raising her chin as if to say, "That's all you've got?" But I met her gaze, slightly smiling, and pulled out a hidden ace, a voice recorder. The moment she saw it, Emily's eyes widened, and she shouted, "What's that?" I didn't answer Emily but respectfully told the judge, "This is evidence of the plaintiff's infidelity." The judge took the recorder, played it, and what came out was, "I've been planning the divorce for a while. When I'm with him, he just lies there like a dead fish. Can't compare to Felix. But everyone thinks you love your husband, right? Are you really getting divorced? All I've shown publicly is just to keep him from getting half my assets. A husband praising fool. It's hilarious that someone actually believes it. Everything she gave him was stuff Felix didn't want. Even when sending money for holidays, she was still cautious, like with the house deed. Good thing she never put his name on it when they got married. Her words echoed through the courtroom, making Emily's face pale with every sentence. In desperation, she rushed from the plaintiff's seat to grab the recorder, yelling, "That's not how it is. This man faked the recordings. I never said a thing like that." Court staff stopped her just in time, and the judge's eyes narrowed. "The court will determine the authenticity of the evidence," he said firmly. "We serve the people, ensuring justice for the innocent and no escape for the guilty. I will use my authority to punish anyone who breaks the law." With that, he decisively adjourned court for 30 minutes. The court had to investigate and verify the evidence's authenticity, considering the final verdict. Meanwhile, during recess, I calmly sipped water. I've handled countless divorce cases before, each one seemingly trickier than this, yet I've kept a 90% win rate. This time, all favorable factors are on my side, and it's like drinking water, easy. On the other hand, Emily's in a mess, frantically calling in some lawyers to help. "Get here now. The hearing starts in 30 minutes. The lawyer hesitated, then asked, "Who's the opposing counsel?" Upon knowing it's me, the lawyer quickly backed out. "Are you crazy? The other lawyer is Vincent. He's a legend in the law community. No one can handle this." On the phone, Emily muttered something angrily. "Why are you so cowardly? Is Vincent really that good? Didn't you say you got into the top 50 of the legal competition?" The lawyer anxiously interrupted her. "Sure, I got the 50th spot, but he's number 1. You might not have heard his reputation, but his cases are legendary. Even my mentor wouldn't be so sure against him. I absolutely can't take this case, not because I fear losing, but I'm not worthy." Emily furiously hung up and shot a glare at me. "What are you looking at? Feeling smug?" I looked at her bewildered since I hadn't even looked her way. She sought aid from other lawyers, all refusing with the same reaction. Ultimately, out of options, she approached me, face grim yet turning gentle suddenly. "Vincent, can we talk?" she implored softly, attempting to win me over. "Please call me lawyer," I responded indifferently, glancing at my watch. "Make it quick. Court resumes soon." Realizing time was slipping away, Emily hastily clung to my arm, pleading, "Vincent, how about we settle this ourselves? We've been together 6 years. Let's not disgrace ourselves. What do you say?" She poured out reasons emotionally, but her eyes showed greed and calculation. "Go on," I gestured. She stated her case. She hoped I wouldn't contest over the marital property she earned, offering compensation to me, keeping what she'd already sent me. I chuckled. Initially, she wanted me to return transfers and gifts. Now, she generously lets me keep them as losing looks certain. Quite the joke. "Settlement?" I asked. She nodded eagerly. "Not a chance," I grinned broadly. "Winning gets me more, and I'm no fool." Emily's fake smile vanished, replaced with anger. "Vincent, you're shameless." When court resumed, Emily was uneasy, squirming in her seat. Before the judge's ruling, she desperately offered money if ruled in her favor. Remaining calm, Judge Ning reminded her bribery is illegal. She instantly fell silent. Finally, the judge delivered the verdict. According to no-fault principles, I deserved 2/3 of the premarital assets, while Emily, proven guilty of infidelity, got 1/3. Nodding slightly to the judge, I saw the 6-year marriage end in decisive victory. As I exited the courtroom, Emily broke down, sobbing on the ground. Felix rushed over. "Don't be like this, Emily. We can still make money together," he comforted her. She pushed him away forcefully. "It's all your fault. Without you, I wouldn't be ruined. Make money? What's been on you wasn't earned by you." Felix lay on the ground, shocked and injured. "What do you mean?" he asked, bewildered. She snapped back. "Do you think living luxuriously was real? I was just a hostess." He was stunned, Claire's true colors finally clear. Witnessing this beside them, I had my own realization. Catching onto a sudden understanding, I waved down a cab. But Emily caught up, demanding I return the money she gave. Sighing, I said, "The court has dealt with property. I owe you nothing, and the transfers were gifts." I smiled, adding, "If you have issues, feel free to sue again." I shut the cab door with flair, leaving a trail of exhaust behind. Later, I received the court's decision and divorce decree. The house of 6 years was mine. I changed the locks. Emily could no longer enter. Shedding the apron, donning my lawyer's suit, I earned respect and was addressed as attorney. Helping others and fighting for rights has become my life's goal. I kicked a loser to the curb and secured most of the premarital assets and custody of the kids. Hearing a client thank me repeatedly with deep bows and apologies warms my heart. These days, I've been busy with court cases and meeting clients, but it's been fulfilling. But not everything goes smoothly, like Emily reaching out of the blue and bombarding me with messages. Seeing the word husband on my phone made my hand shake a bit. The messages were all dramatic. "I miss you. I was out of my mind and got charmed by someone as worthless as Felix. I ignored someone as amazing as you. I was wrong. Come back, please." I didn't need to guess what she was plotting. I replied slowly, "Are you marrying me or my money?" She quickly denied, "Of course, it's you, Vincent. I truly love you." I chuckled coldly, "Come on, Emily. You pretending doesn't make me sick. It makes me want to puke." Hearing my sarcasm, Emily got a bit annoyed. "Vincent, who else would want you?" I snapped back, "That's none of your concern. I've got money and assets. Why would I worry about finding someone? Like you said, I could support many with my wallet." Emily seemed furious on the other end. Not my problem. I had no desire to argue further. My lawyer work was waiting. I gathered my emotions and coldly said, "Phone's getting hung up. If you have any disputes, find me in court. Otherwise, stop bothering me. We're done." After hanging up, I blocked her. "No more disturbance, thanks." Just before the call ended, Emily hissed, "You've pushed me too far, Vincent." I felt nothing. I've shredded people like her in court, left them with nothing. They shouted about getting even with me, teaching me to be humble, but did nothing after court. A few days later, I received a message from a person I recently advised about a divorce case online. We had already discussed her needs and the main marital conflicts leading to her divorce. Now, she was asking to meet at a cafe to hand over evidence of her spouse's infidelity. Throughout my years as a lawyer, I've stuck to one principle. I only represent the wronged or disadvantaged. My mentor had warned me about being too soft-hearted in this field. But no matter what, I've stuck to my conscience and done right by people. Reading the details of her domestic abuse, I was shocked. I felt the urge to help her. So, as soon as I got the message, I was ready to head out. But just as I opened the door, there stood Felix. I frowned. "What do you want?" I couldn't greet someone who wronged me with a smile. Felix was nervous and grabbed my hand. "I'm here to help you." I raised an eyebrow, waiting for him to go on. "The person who messaged you about a divorce is actually Emily. She plans to lure you out tonight, drug you, and take compromising photos to blackmail you for her assets." Inside, I felt a ripple of surprise, but outwardly I kept calm. I asked curiously, "Why are you helping me?" Felix's nervousness gave way to annoyance. "Because Emily dumped me. I put all my heart into her." Before he could finish, I interrupted, "You think she made a mistake? But didn't you? You called it love, yet as an affair partner, you interfered in a marriage. Imagine if it wasn't me but an ordinary person, a woman, she might not survive it." Felix was at a loss. "I'm sorry. It's all my fault. If there's anything I can do to make amends, I will. Just make sure Emily pays." I narrowed my eyes slightly. I was going to make Emily regret ever meeting me anyway. "All right, you should leave. I have a meeting to attend." I said this, ready to leave, but Felix was bewildered. "Didn't I warn you already? Why are you still going? Aren't you scared?" I turned briefly, confidence in my smile. "Don't worry, I have my ways." I arrived at the cafe as planned, but before I could open the door, a stranger rushed out with a cloth and pressed it over my mouth and nose. It was laced with a drug. I blacked out instantly. When I came to, I was in a dark, unfamiliar room, tied up with rope. I tried to free myself, but it was useless. Just then, Emily emerged from a bathroom, wrapped in a towel. She looked smug, seeing me awake. "Vincent, don't struggle. You won't get free. You acted so high and mighty. Now you're in my hands. Soon, I'll make you beg. Show you that no matter how capable you are, you're still tied and will have to submit to me." I calmly scanned the surroundings. 5 cameras were filming everything, and there were some suggestive toys around. I warned Emily with a stern face. "If you go through with this, you'll really regret it." But Emily didn't listen. Instead, she laughed loudly multiple times. "Ha ha ha, stop being stubborn. There's no way I'd regret it." Right after saying this, she eagerly moved in on me, pinning me down with her restless hands. But just as her hand was about to touch me, the room's door burst open. In the next second, all the lights were turned on Emily's shocked face, and the cameras captured everything. Once she realized what was happening, Emily quickly fixed her clothes. Her eyes were filled with anger, almost fiery, as she glared at me. "Vincent, you set me up." Faced with her panic, I slowly stood up from the bed, casually straightening my clothes, which were totally fine. "If you hadn't tried to harm me, I wouldn't have had the chance to take action." Then all the photographers rushed forward, capturing several close-ups of Emily's ineffective fury. As a lawyer, I have quite a wide network. It's mainly because I've used the law to help many people in distress, and now they're willing to help me. They found Emily's hotel room number and exact address, and also connected me with several well-known journalists to document this moment. Emily, who recently saw half her fortune disappear, was now caught coercing a young guy. If she couldn't get a letter of forgiveness, she'd be facing prison time, with sewing machines waiting for her inside. After the journalist's reminder, Emily wasn't angry anymore. She just dropped to her knees in front of me. I'll admit, she could really adapt to her circumstances. I kinda respected that about her. "Vincent, I really messed up. I fell into temptation for a moment, but now I'm truly regretful. Can you forgive me, please? I really don't want to go to jail. If I go in, my life is really over." After she finished talking, she started slapping herself hard, even drawing blood from her mouth, but didn't stop. But I wasn't moved at all. Looking down at her, I coldly said, "Forgive you? Who's gonna make up for the injustice done to me? Wasting 6 years of my life, I'm definitely gonna make Emily pay a price here." That day, the police came and arrested Emily on the spot. Afterward, journalists covered the story extensively, and it kept gaining more attention. With some investigation, it turned out Emily had a poor past, using her influence to oppress several guys. Public support led to a trial, and Emily was sentenced to 10 years for charges like abduction and assault. Despite going through all this, I still have faith in the world's genuine kindness. I'll keep using my warmth and the law to protect those in need.